Hello, and welcome to the Library Services presentation on finding research studies for your campus clinical assignment. You have an assignment to complete after your community service practicum. Your first step is to do an internet search for the community agency to which you've been assigned, to see what type of services they provide. For example, maybe you've been assigned to a seniors center that provides a daily exercise program. Your second step is to find one research study article from a peer-reviewed journal that demonstrates how this service is an evidence-informed practice. Notice these two requirements for the article that you find. 1. It must be a primary original research study, and 2. It must be peer-reviewed. We'll discuss the meaning of each of these requirements a little later. In this video tutorial, we will distinguish between academic and non-academic literature, and between primary and secondary research. We will discuss what peer-reviewed journals are, and how to find peer-reviewed articles. We will discover how to find research studies by searching library resources, and look at ways to save the information that we find. We will also briefly discuss APA. It's important to understand the distinction between popular magazines and academic journals. Popular magazines contain general interest articles that are written for the general public. You don't need to have any special knowledge or expertise to read them. They contain a lot of photographs and advertisements. Articles tend to be short, and they don't typically include a list of references. Academic journals, on the other hand, are based on scholarly research, and some knowledge of the subject matter is helpful to understand the information being presented. There are no photographs. Any images included will be charts and graphs containing data. Articles tend to be long and in-depth, with a reference list that may be quite lengthy. There is often a peer-reviewed process in place. There are very few ads, and those that are included will be relevant to the subject area of the journal. So what is a peer-reviewed article? When an author submits an article to a journal to be published, the journal forwards it to a board comprised of experts in the field, or peers. These experts will review the contents of the article to make sure that the information presented is accurate, true, reliable, and valid. If original research was carried out, they will consider the research design and whether or not the research is repeatable. They will also evaluate the quality of the article and its appropriateness for the journal. Once this review is complete, the article will be sent back to the author with a list of revisions that must be made before it will be accepted for publication. When we're looking at peer-reviewed articles, we have a high-quality source of information. The majority of research that we do now is online, which means that sometimes we don't have the clues in front of us that help us to distinguish what type of material we're looking at. In the case of a research article, there are usually some easy ways to identify it. There is usually an abstract, or summary, of what the article is about. There will be an introduction, history, or background that informs the reader why they set out to do this research. There will be methods or a research design detailing exactly how the research was carried out. Results will be presented, and there may be a discussion of the relevance of the results. Finally, there will be conclusions. Let's turn now to primary versus secondary research. Primary research is also known as original research. A research study is designed and carried out, and the results are reported in the form of a research article. Common examples of primary research include randomized control trials, RCTs, or clinical trials. In the case of secondary research, instead of designing and carrying out a research study, a search of the literature is conducted to find existing studies, and based on the findings, a research article is written. Common examples of secondary research include literature reviews and systematic reviews. The most reliable way to distinguish between primary and secondary research is to review the research methods or design. If the methods describe the study design, the people that were involved, what they were asked to do, the data collected, and the results, this would be primary research. If the methods provide a list of databases that were searched, keywords that were used, and selection criteria by which they decided what to include and what to exclude, this would be secondary research. Your assignment requires you to find a primary research article. Okay, let's pause and do a hands-on activity. Click on the links and take a look at these two article abstracts. Decide whether each article is primary, original research, or secondary research that is based on existing studies. If you chose Article 1 as the primary research article, you are correct. We can see that the phrase randomized control trial appears both in the title of the article and in the study design. Under the category of participants, we are told that community-dwelling older adults were randomly assigned to chair yoga or a health education program, HEP, and under interventions we see that participants attended either chair yoga or HEP. Randomized controlled trials are an example of primary research, and we can see that this study involves people who were assigned to different groups and asked to do something. Let's take stock of our agenda. We've discussed academic versus non-academic literature, primary versus secondary research, and peer-reviewed journals. Let's turn now to searching the library's resources. For the purpose of today's searches, we will research the use of MediHoney to promote wound healing. The first database that we're going to search is CINAHL Complete. CINAHL stands for Cumulative Index to Nursing and Allied Health Literature. Basic instructions for how to build your search in CINAHL Complete are provided here for your review. But let's do some actual searching. View the clinical searching video to observe the concept-by-concept method. The second database that we're going to search is PubMed. PubMed is the free online version of Medline, so no matter where you work after graduation, you will always have access to this database. PubMed provides broader medical coverage, so in addition to medicine and nursing, you will also find veterinary medicine, dental medicine, and so on. Using the database supplied subject headings tends to give better search results. PubMed uses subject language called MESH, or medical subject headings, and in order to maximize the effectiveness of our searches, we will use the MESH search screen. The link provided will take you directly to the MESH search screen. View the PubMed MESH searching video to observe. Always remember to save information as you find it. Saving the sources that you will find will ensure that you have all the necessary information to build your references, and it will allow you to go back and check your facts. Additionally, for this particular assignment, you are required to attach a copy of your article to your assignment, so you want to make sure that you can find it again. Most of the library databases provide tools to make it easy to save your results. The tools shown here on the right-hand side of the screen are found in all of our EBSCOhost databases, including CINAHL. You can choose to email the article to yourself or save it. Bookmarking the page won't actually bring you back to the article that you found because this is a subscription database that is not available to the general public. If you want a link to the article, use the permalink, one of the tools seen here. Let's check our assignment status. We've learned how to limit our searches to find primary original research that has been peer-reviewed. These resources will help you navigate primary research articles. The first two links lead to help sheets created by Conestoga's writing services that guide you through how to read and understand a research article. The Georgia State University page provides information about the different types of research designs. The final two links give information about research designs for quantitative Part 1 and qualitative Part 2 research studies. Remember that you need to provide a reference for any source from which you either quote or paraphrase information. Step number 8 of your assignment requires that you reference your article in APA at Conestoga format. The Writing Services Guide to APA at Conestoga is an excellent tool to show you how to build your references for different types of sources. In this case, because you are using a peer-reviewed primary research article, you will be looking for information about how to reference a journal article. If you run into problems with referencing, you can ask library staff or Writing Services staff for help. Okay, it's time to check our progress again. Have we covered everything that we set out to discuss? Review academic versus non-academic literature? Check. Discuss primary versus secondary research? Check. Define peer-reviewed journals? Check. Discover how to find research studies using library resources? Check. Find ways to save information? Check. Briefly discuss APA at Conestoga? Check. We have just a few more pieces of housekeeping before we wrap up. Off-campus access. When you are working off-campus, you still have access to the library's online resources. You'll be prompted to log in when you run a search or access a database on the library's website. Enter your student number and your PIN, which is the last 4 digits of your student number. Even though you are studying at a campus that does not have a library, you can still access print resources through a service called Intercampus Loan. The nursing books are located at the Dune Campus Library, but there will also be some available at the Waterloo Campus Library in near future. If it's not convenient for you to get to either of these libraries, you can place a request for the book to be sent to University Gates, as long as it's not a book that is part of the reserve collection. Please remember that you can always ask for help from the library, even if you are not able to visit us in person. Ask On is an online chat and SMS research service staffed by information specialists from participating college libraries across Ontario, including Conestoga. To begin a chat, click the Click to Chat tab, which floats at the bottom right of each page of the library's website. You can also text us at 226-210-0275 for mobile research help. You can phone or email for help too. Contact information can be found on the library's homepage. Thank you for listening. I hope this video has helped you understand the requirements of your assignment.